the married ones, of course, they are still very, very useful to us. Now, the first one is being able to pause before you react. Now, when there's a disagreement, it is natural to want to respond based on the way you feel. Your emotions are already at their highest and you want to react. Maybe you are angry or you are hot or overwhelmed. But people often say things they later regret at this point, and that is why it is important to pause before you react. Not every feeling requires an immediate reaction. Sometimes the healthiest response is just to pause. Now, the pause here is not avoidance. The pause here is preparation. It creates space for emotions to settle. It gives you time to think about the best way to go about it, and then your emotions are contained to a large extent. And so when you talk about it, it makes more sense to your partner. And then the second one is you want to listen to understand before trying to be understood. Okay, now one of the greatest gifts you can give your partner is the feeling of being heard. Many people listen with one goal, just to defend themselves or to respond. And healthy couples listen with a different goal. You want to understand what has been said. So sometimes your partner is not even asking you to solve the problem immediately. They just want you to understand their experience. So you want to ask questions. Oh, tell me more about how you felt. Oh, what did that situation mean to you? These questions communicate empathy, and that is something very important in every healthy relationship. Okay, now the third one is you want to attack the problem, not your partner. Okay, now during conflicts, it's very easy to begin treating your spouse as the enemy. Now, healthy couples must always remember that they are on the same team. They are trying to build a home together. So the problem is the enemy, not each other. So instead of saying something like, you are so irresponsible, you want to focus on the issue. You can say something like, how can we prevent this from happening again? That way, the both of you can focus on the challenge. And of course, solutions come and you can both help each other to overcome it gradually. And then the fourth one is that you need to be able to take responsibility for your parts. Now, for whatever conflict that happened, a lot of times it's easier to blame the other person, but the truth is both parties always have a role they have played in that conflict. So you want to be able to take responsibility for your parts. So you want to ask yourself, what did I contribute to this misunderstanding? Sometimes you were just silent all through. So because you felt you were silent, you felt you didn't do much. But silence in itself may not have been the right thing to do. Maybe if you had spoken up, maybe if you had communicated, that problem wouldn't have been as big as that. So yes, that is something you can actually take responsibility for. You want to ask yourself, is there something I could have handled differently? You want to ask, do I need to apologize and take responsibility for that? Okay, so even if it was very small, you need to own it. One of the most healing statements in any marriage, I was wrong. I was wrong. And it needs to be followed closely by, I am sorry. And even more importantly, you want to say something like, how can I make it right? So if you are able to own your part, repair becomes really easy. And then the fifth one is repair quickly. No silent treatment. Don't wait until it happens again before you try to bring it up and resolve it. No. Conflict should never become a permanent residence. Couples who know how to repair emotional disconnection are able to, come back together really quickly. Now, in repairing, of course, you must tender a sincere apology. Okay, now, sincere apologies. A lot of time, people are quick to say, I'm sorry. But I'm sorry a lot of time doesn't even cut it because your partner is not even sure of what you're apologizing for. Your partner is not sure that you understand the gravity of your offense or you are sure of what has really hurt them. So you need to go beyond, I'm sorry. You want to be able to say, I am so sorry for this. Take say whatever it is you did and let them know that you are making effort to ensure it doesn't happen again. Then you need to be able to offer forgiveness. And this is both parties. Both parties. I always tell people forgiveness in marriage, especially, is something you should even do in advance. I always say, dash your partner this forgiveness, because there is nobody in this world that would offend you as much as your partner. It's not, there's nobody, none. So you need to be able to forgive. If there's any place at all where forgiving your brother 70 times, 70 times, 70 times, 7 times happens, it's in marriage. So you must have a mindset that is ready to forgive your partner. Okay. Yeah, a repair can
Thank
also
you very
involve.
much.
Sorry, did you say something? Okay. A repair should also include a reassuring hug, holding hands, praying together, revisiting the conversation with greater understanding, agreeing on practical changes for the future. Yeah, so apologizing is not admitting you're a bad person. It is admitting that the relationship is more important than your pride. So it's important that we keep all of this in mind. So yes, we should be open to repairing conflicts as soon as possible. So I just share some practical takeaways and we'll round up. So as we prepare for marriage, and for those of us that are already in marriage, it's important that we continue to build these habits consistently. We want to be able to make time for 15 to 20 minutes of uninterrupted conversation daily. Now, I know our lives get really busy and it becomes, in fact, in many homes, that is not happening, honestly. People are more focused on the logistics, caring for the children, ensuring there's food, taking care of going to work and raising money. And all of those things are important, but they don't nurture the relationship. So we see people nurturing the marriage itself, but not the relationship between the partner, that the husband and the wife. Now, that is very important. Then we want to ensure that we replace assumptions with questions. Let's not assume we know what our partner intends to say. We must listen. We must ask them questions. Then we listen to understand before responding. We express appreciation every day, even for small acts of kindness. Let's not act as though we are not seeing what our partners are doing. These things need to be expressed. Tell your partner, thank you. Let them know that all they are doing is seen and valued and appreciated. Then you also want to be able to discuss expectations before they become disappointments. Don't just assume that your partner should know what you need, or your partner knows what needs to be done, or your partner knows exactly what you expect them to do in a particular situation. Most of the time, they don't. So it's important that these are communicated. And then it's also important to learn your partner's communication and conflict style. And then the both of you must help each other to become assertive and collaborators in terms of your.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jane. We have had a really insightful time. Thank you so much, Dr. Jane. Dr. Jane is a professional marriage counselor. So if we give her all the time in the world, it will still not be enough for her to buttress her point on premarital counseling and communication styles, which she is a very, very good professional at. I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Jane Ogbah for that amazing session. In fact, if we had more time, we would not want it to stop, but we have to move on to other things. Thank you so much, Dr. Jane. Please let's put up a favorite emoji to say thank you to Dr. Jane for that insightful session. All right, so we'll be moving on. And so far, we've come to understand that healthy marriages do not happen by chance. It requires a lot of intentionality for healthy marriages to become better and to be achieved. So we know that there's so much to be done, so much to be learned. Premarital counseling actually gives room for couples to set guidelines for their marriages. However, it's not too late if you did not do premarital counseling. And you must understand that marital counseling is a continuous process, and the need for marriage therapy cannot be overemphasized. All right, so we would like to move on to a very beautiful and amazing part of this program, which is a moderated discussion. We would want to have some discussions from some renowned individuals who are skilled in the idea of marriage counseling.